Hello, truth seekers, and I hope you're well. I'm trying to get these videos out in more timely fashion. I wanted to talk today about spirit and soul, yours, mine, our depth, our experiences, our choices of experiences, and how we work with them, how we perceive them, and how we can take into our life a daily practice that allows us to express and develop and share certain spiritual qualities. And I'm not talking about direct mediumship in that way, or direct healing, shall we say. When we're walking around and sort of, trying to tell everybody that we're a medium and a healer. And I don't think that's the way it should be done. In fact, it should be the exact opposite for most of the time, particularly in our daily lives. And I want to just share with you a practice that I started many, many years ago when I was first was coming across meditation and sitting in meditation and beginning to sense and feel. Not that it was my first time sensing and feeling spirit, but it becoming a consistent part of my life. So I began to do a practice whereby, in any situation where I was having an interchange with another person, and let's say a simple act of somebody needed a pen, or somebody asked me to hand them a pen, or the milk, or the sugar, or the clerk handing back the money, when that used to be more common, or me handing the money, I would, from within myself, do the gesture with all the love and heart that I could put into it. Didn't change my look. I wasn't wearing special clothing. I wasn't wearing anything that made me seem out of what we consider the ordinary, or just a person, in an average exchange. But I would do it with all the love and service, gratitude, and humility that I could find in the moment. Now, people will say, "Oh, yeah, but that's a lot easier done than said," or said than done. Sorry, got that backwards. Said than done, and it is. And you will forget, because you'll get frustrated, and there'll be maybe a bit of anger and impatience, and all of that will stir around you, and you'll be dealing with it all. But as you do it, and do it as much as you can, as daily as you can, without trying to use special words, or drawing attention to yourself in any way, it is simply an act of thought. And there's all these books that have been written about the power of intention. This is the most powerful one, bar none, because you're doing it every day. It's a practice. Spirituality is a practice. Now, I hear people say, "Oh, I'm a spiritual being." And then you can sit back and you can make your own assessments of if they are or if they aren't. And people say, "Well, that's judgment." No, that's discernment. And there is a difference. And it's a gradual evolution of your own self. But for anybody who's working towards healership or mediumship, this is such a powerful step, and it's so immediate in terms of its outcomes. People feel better with you. They won't even know why, and you'll feel better. You'll know why, but they won't, and it doesn't matter that they know. Unless, of course, a conversation comes up and they say, "When you handed that to me, I just felt like I was being, like, waves of goodness came over me." That'll happen once or twice, not a lot. And then you can start to have a conversation, because it tells you something about that soul, or that person in that moment was somewhat open, or was in a certain mindset that allowed them an awareness, spoke, a soul to soul meeting, a spirit to spirit meeting. I prefer to say soul to soul, because we're having certain soul experiences in this life. right? Spirit is the energy source. It's the overall consciousness, but the soul itself is the part of us that is experiencing this lifetime the way it is, with the interactions that we have with the people we meet and marry and break up with and love and go through anger with and healing and all of it. But it's all working for the spiritual knowledge of love and forgiveness and patience, but love and forgiveness always at the top. I would encourage everyone out there to do this one simple act. Make it a practice every day, as much as you can. You will forget. If you've got 4 papers to write one afternoon because you have exams, yeah, it just may not be at the top of your brain. But once you start the practice, it just becomes a natural extension of who you are and what you do. And it's a gradual change. It was very powerful in me for about 4 or 5 years when I was younger. Then I got married, and then life, and then jobs and responsibilities, and it wasn't always on the surface. It was close, and it was often done maybe not with the same level of intensity or purpose within myself, because I was multitasking a billion things like most of us do. And yes, I will say a billion. Someone's going to go, oh yeah, a billion. Fine. 20 at once or whatever it is. But the intent was there. It was still in me. And now that I'm free to do this work and do it daily and make things of a daily practice for myself, it's come back in a huge way. And I'm really grateful that I have whatever time I have in this life now to live this and to practice it and see what it does for others, but also for myself. Because it's also helping you. Most certainly it's helping you. Gradually, slowly. Becoming a freer person with your interactions, and trusting that what you're doing is coming from a real place of service and kindness, and we can say the word acceptance, and it's a signal to other people that there's a door open, that we are really soul to soul. We're not male, female, just having certain experiences. There's a deeper connection. And that's the thing that we have to get back to, because we're losing that all the time now. It's becoming worse and worse all the time. With this idea that people are of a certain race and a certain color and certain other ideological frameworks that they're putting us into. No, you're a spirit. You're a spirit and soul first. And when you reach out to someone with that, you're acknowledging what they truly are. They're not their skin color. They're not their hair. They may look great in Gucci, but they're not their Gucci. They are a soul and spirit first, as you are. And what a powerful, easy, simple, but it takes discipline. It's a discipline act until it becomes natural, until it becomes second nature. It's like anything with us humans. It's about habit. You are what you practice. You become what you practice. Practice makes you what you become. So what you focus on is what eventually it becomes your main shtick in life, shall we say? Your show. But this is so much deeper, and it's so much more powerful. So please trust that when you do this, it's going to work. One, and the big thing is, don't expect anybody to respond in a particular way. Don't expect them to get it. Because it may come to them 5 or 10 minutes later where they say, I had a really bad day, but this one person showed up, and man, for some reason, I still remember them. It just felt good. I didn't say anything at the time, but it made a difference to my day. This is what we have to do. And when you hold a door open for somebody, do it with all the love in your soul. Do it with all the gratitude. Don't and don't expect them to wave or smile. It's just like when you let somebody in when they're driving and they don't turn signal and they don't wave thank you and all those little things. But when you do it with as much power of love and compassion, and that you're giving of yourself in that moment completely. It doesn't take much, but it's a discipline of thinking. And it is what the great teachers have all taught. Jesus in his way taught it. Buddha has taught it in his way. Chang Tzu, Krishna, whoever else, they've all done it. The great mediums I've come across, and when I mean great, I mean deeply spiritual first, all had that vibe at some point. Strong personalities, absolutely. Fair and kind, though, absolutely. No flies, right? No flies on them. So try that. And I wanted to sort of finish up because I'm looking at the time on these. I'm trying to keep them to 15 minutes, so I want to keep that going. But in my last video, which seems to have not done so well with people, but fine, fair enough. And it was about premonitions and what have you. Every time we do these types of practices, it extends our spirit self, not just to here in the world, but also to the spirit world, because we're sending out signals to the spirit world that we are ready for something more from the spirit world for ourselves in terms of our spiritual makeup, our spiritual gifts, whether it be through healing, mediumship, however else it works for you. So as that goes on, the gifts of spirit, prophecy being one of them, more likely to begin to work around you, to be able to work with you. You extending your spirit body into the spirit realm, whether in dream state or just through meditation, and then beginning to receive more and more, not just the really great messages from the mothers and grandmothers and grandfathers and sons and daughters and all that have crossed over, but quite profound things and very clear visions of exact events that may occur and probably will if you see it very clearly and very exactly, even to little things in your life. So I'll end with this. About a year ago, I was contemplating my front walkway. It's very kind of like need to change it. And I was sitting in meditation, and I did a whole healing for many people, and had some lovely kind of spiritual moments with the spirit world while I was doing it. And then just as I was about to finish up, I saw very clearly in 3D this exact walkway. And I thought, well, that's something my wife would have loved. And I came out of it and I thought, better hang on to that. Made a phone call, got a really great group in, and they did the sidewalk. And we just talked about it where there was no plan laid out. It's perfect. It's exactly the way I saw it. And I gave him clarity about how I wanted the shape. But and he will never know this. It came out exactly as it had been given to me. So it was one of those meant to be things, small, little. Like all your premonitions are not going to change the world, but they may change you a bit. And it constantly gives us confidence. Because I don't care who you are, confidence with this work, confidence that the spirit world is there, is important. It's important to us. We're here, they're there. But what we can do, and I want to wrap it up with going back to the beginning, is extend yourself in every moment as much as you can. Opening the door, saying hello to somebody, say it through your eyes. Look right at them and say it with real love in your heart and in your eyes. You have to get past a vulnerability with that. But these moments go by so quickly that I think once you get started, you'll realize wow, it just goes by quickly, and the person will respond, and they will not even fully understand what they're receiving, but they're going to receive it on some level, whether it's subconscious. And that's your gift. That's your gift for the day. Be brave. Be brave. Life is not for cowards. There's something I read the other day. It was really good. Um, I'm going to paraphrase it probably quite badly right now, but the extent of your life is governed by the courage you put into your life. It expands or shrinks with the courage that you're willing to put into your life. And I thought, wow, I got to remember that one. It's very true. And if we all look at our own lives, we see it. So have the courage to go do this. Be a little light. That's being a little light. You may not get the rewards, the glory, or the big thank yous, but you're going to know it in your heart, and you're going to know it in yourself, and you're going to know that you're changing something for you and for other people. So, God bless you. Hopefully, we'll talk to you soon. Be well, be healthy, and bye bye.